One of the phones that I'm looking forward to the most this year is the iPhone Fold, which Apple hasn't even announced. There are no official specs, no official price, no official name. Actually, Apple hasn't even confirmed that they're making one. And yet, a lot of the official analysts that provide information on Apple have confirmed that the iPhone Fold is coming this year. So today, everything we actually know, the specs, the price, the design decisions that explain why it took Apple this long, and the one thing most coverage isn't mentioning, which I think is the most important thing about this phone. That part will be at the midpoint, so stay with me. And if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe for more. I'm Slim Hoodie, let's get into it. Samsung released the first Galaxy Fold in 2019. That's 7 years before Apple's expected entry, which is 7 years later. Now, Apple watched every single generation of foldables. They watched Samsung screens crease, they watched screens crack, they watched the prices come down, they watched what people actually use the foldable phones for and what they didn't. And like Apple's philosophy has always been, they're always about being the best, not being first. They didn't invent the MP3 player, they made the iPod. They didn't invent the smartphone, they made the iPhone. And when you see the rollout or the leaks at least, they're doing the same exact thing here. And the question isn't why Apple took so long. The question is whether the wait was worth it. The answer to that question depends on almost entirely on one specific engineering problem. Based on the leaks, it looks like there was one reason as to why it took so long for Apple to roll out the iPhone Fold. And it looks like they finally solved it. And I'll explain that in a minute. Now, here's what it looks like, at least what the leaks suggest. And when I first saw it, it reminded me of the first generation Pixel Fold. Closed, it's about 5.5 inches. That's smaller than your current iPhone if you're on a 15 or 16 Pro Max. And it fits in the pocket like a normal phone. Open is 7.8 inches. That's just a hair smaller than an iPad mini. So I see the look that they're going for, where it's like it's a normal phone when you have it in your hand, but if you open it up, it'll mimic the iPad mini. And the aspect ratio when open is 4:3, same as an iPad. Not a stretch phone and not a tall, awkward screen either. It's just a wide, short tablet-like display. And Apple went with the book style fold. Opens horizontally like a book, not vertically like a clamshell. Thickness when folded around 9 to 9.5 millimeters. When unfolded, 4.5 to 4.8 millimeters. For context, unfolded it is thinner than your current iPhone. Frame is titanium and aluminum. Titanium on the stress points around the hinge, aluminum elsewhere for heat and weight. That's the classic material choice that Apple usually goes with. The thing with foldables is that they all have a crease. That visible line down the middle of the screen where it folds. You see it, you feel it in your finger, it's there. And that's the thing that Apple was reportedly spending years on, a specific problem trying to solve it. And multiple sources say that they pursued eliminating the crease regardless of the cost. And what they landed on was a new material property for the display layer combined with a liquid metal hinge that distributes the folding stress more evenly across the screen instead of concentrating it at the fold line. And the result, according to leaks, is a crease that is nearly invincible. It's not completely gone, but it's just nearly invisible. And that distinction matters. And Samsung actually showed something at CES 2026 that got people excited. Two panels side by side, their current model had a visible crease and a concept model which showed no crease at all. That concept panel is widely believed to be the display that will be used for the iPhone Fold. Samsung is making Apple's screen, but Apple is designing everything else. That's the arrangement, and mass production of those panels reportedly starts in May 2026, which tracks with a September launch. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Everyone is talking about the iPhone Fold like it's an iPhone that opens up, and that's not what it is. When you unfold this phone, you don't have a big iPhone. You have something running software that Apple is specifically building for a tablet-sized display. Mark Gurman at Bloomberg reported that iOS 27 will have foldable specific features built in. Split screen, sidebar layouts, side-by-side apps. Code for foldable optimized UI has already been spotted in current iOS builds. Think about what that actually means for regular people. You're on a flight, you pull out what feels like a normal phone, you unfold it. Now you're reading a document on one side and replying to emails on the other on a screen that's nearly iPad mini sized. Or you're watching a video when someone texts you, instead of pausing the video to read message, both things live side by side. This isn't just a phone with a bigger screen, it's a device that changes what a phone is capable of doing, specifically because Apple built the software to match the hardware. And I've had the Fold 7 recently. I had it for a little bit and it's really nice phone. The only thing is some of the apps are not optimized for it. But the thing with Apple is that usually when they put out a device, apps and developers, they work with Apple to make sure that their is optimized for the device. I wish it was the case for the Pixel Fold and the Samsung Fold and all the other foldables, although they have workarounds for them, but it's not the same as what Apple has and how the developers make it a point to work with them to optimize their apps for the Apple UI. Based on the specs, the hardware is impressive. The software integration is the actual story. Apple has under display camera technology for the inner screen, no notch, no punch hole. The front facing camera is under the display when unfolded. On the outer screen, there's a standard hole punch camera. No Face ID on the inner screen. Touch ID is built into the new power button. Same as the iPhone SE and iPhone 17e. I can't even lie, I am bummed out about the no Face ID part, but I get it. It's their first foldable and it's pretty complex trying to put the Face ID sensors under the folding display. So I get it. Quick run through the specs based on current leaks. Chip, it'll be the A20 Pro, same as the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. Built on TSMC's 2 nanometer process. Top tier, no compromise here. For the modem, Apple's second gen C2, full 5G including millimeter wave in the US, matches Qualcomm's best. For the camera, it'll be a 24 megapixel under display camera on the inner screen and a hole punch camera on the outer screen. And for the battery, it'll be a 5500 plus milliamp battery. The price is where everything gets crazy. And this is the part most people are going to react to. Current leaks put the base model at around $1999 or just over $2,000 for 256 gigabytes. The 512 storage version is expected to be around 2200, while the maxed out 1 terabyte, and you're looking around roughly 2400. This is a lot of money. That is more than twice the price of iPhone 17e we covered last week, and that is more than most laptops. And here's the honest thing. The iPhone Fold is not for most people. Not in year one, it never was. This is for early adopters who specifically want the largest iPhone display possible, who do real work on their phones, and who have $2,000 to spend on it. For everyone else, and I mean the vast majority of people watching this, the iPhone 18 Pro at probably $1199 or the Pixel 11 at a third of the price will be a better phone for how you actually use it. The iPhone Fold is impressive, it is not for most people. Almost every major source points to September 2026 as the release date for the iPhone Fold. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Ming-Chi Kuo, multiple supply chain reports. The consensus is fall 2026, but Apple has delayed products before. And if the crease problem isn't as solved as the leaks suggest, Apple will wait. They have shown they will wait. I'll update this if anything changes, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Here's where we are. Apple is almost certainly releasing a foldable iPhone in fall 2026. It will be their most expensive iPhone ever. It will be the largest display of any iPhone ever. It will run software built specifically for what happens when you unfold it. Now, whether it's worth $2,000 depends entirely on you. I'll tell you honestly when I've had the time with it because I'm for sure getting it. Until then, one question for the comments. Are you buying the iPhone Fold at launch? Or are you waiting for generation 2 or skipping it entirely? Drop the comment below. If you're not ready to spend $2,000 on a phone, but you did just get the iPhone 17e, I did a whole video on 10 settings worth changing on day one. That's up next. I'm Slim Hoodie. Peace.